Okay, so I'm Helen Duncan. I'm an engineer, but this isn't all about me. I've come to the conclusion that there are a lot of misconceptions about what engineering is, and I've decided to sort of boil that down into 10 myths and bust those myths. So, first of all, this is a one that often parents are guilty of telling their children that they should become lawyers, doctors, because that's a profession, and engineering isn't a profession. A lot of this comes from the perception that engineering is something to do with engines because of the likeness of the name. But in French and German, and probably other languages as well, the word for engineer comes from the same root as the word ingenious, not anything to do with engines. And in many countries, it's also illegal to call yourself an engineer unless you have a degree, professional qualification. And I think in this country, we really don't recognise that. We don't value our engineers. We have quite a lot of work to do to convince the public that engineering is a profession. So, another myth is that engineering is poorly paid. And now these are actually figures from Engineering UK, which is seeking to promote engineering as a career for young people. Graduate starting salary is now officially between 25 and 30,000 a year, which is probably more than anything except junior doctors. It's certainly more than trainee solicitors get paid when they first start work. And the best bit is it's almost 100% chance of getting a job. And across all career stages, the median for graduate engineers is now £62,000. So, you know, as a standing in society, I think, you know, it's a good career for people. There's also a perception that engineering is not an academic subject, and this is a prejudice I come across in my work as a STEM ambassador in secondary schools, that I've spoken with technology teachers who think that engineering is a job for kids who are good with their hands, who are practical, not very academic. I've taken the liberty of showing you a picture of my son, Alex, here, who I'm very proud of. Now, he got 4 A stars in his A-levels, and a first in mechanical engineering at Bristol last year. He turned one job down, walked straight into another one, and he's already earning 32,000 and has just bought his first flat. So the thought that it's not an academic subject is wider spread in state schools, sadly, than in independent and grammar schools. I've got statistics again from Engineering UK that there's a higher than average proportion of engineering students come from independent and grammar schools. So we've got a way to go with state schools. The independent and more academic schools actually get that it's an academic subject, but comprehensive schools don't, and we've got a lot of work to do there. The second point is actually what I was told when I started university, and I think it's probably true still today, that an honours degree in engineering is actually equivalent to getting an ordinary degree in maths. It's that academic. Okay, there's also a myth that engineering is just one subject. Now, I think most of us know that it's not. And this was just 5 minutes of me writing down all the types of engineering that I could think of. There's probably a lot more. And there's huge differences between these. We're hearing quite a bit, obviously, about software engineering and so on today, but it goes right up to mechanical engineering, civil engineering, building bridges and roads and stuff. And so there's a flavour of engineering to suit almost everyone. And some of those are more focused on the technical side. Some of them are I'm going to bust another myth before I've actually got there. Some of them are of huge benefit to society. Right, this is one we come across all the time, engineering's dirty work. Some engineers wear overalls, hard hats and high-vis jackets, and when you see an article in the newspaper about engineers, you can bet your life that it's someone in a hard hat and high-vis jacket. But most of us don't wear those in our everyday jobs. And these are just some pictures I picked up. Obviously, a clean room is quite the opposite. You know, one in 10,000 molecules of dirt in that clean room, because a piece of dust compared to a track on a semiconductor device is you know, just one speck of dust can short out the whole chip. So the picture in the middle is a chip, and that's just microns across. And most of our engineers are like that chap there who's sitting at a desk with a computer, which most people do in their jobs these days. Okay, myth number 6, engineering is inferior to science. A lot of teachers in schools will say, oh, you know, do a pure science. You like physics at school, do physics. I don't want to do down science. We need scientists. But mathematicians and scientists develop the theoretical concepts and the building blocks that engineers use. Engineers apply them for practical purposes. So in my opinion, engineering and science are of equal importance, and each would have less use without the other one. So if you want to work out a new theorem or discover a new element or do something in the lab, become a mathematician or a scientist. But if you want to change people's lives for the better, become an engineer. This perception is unfortunately perpetuated by the media, who will always say on a news item, scientists have invented. Scientists don't invent things, we invent things. Right, this is one we have difficulty with as well, that engineering has a negative effect on society. Yes, it's been blamed for lots of things, pollution, global warming, but it's produced a whole load of positive effects as well. You know, all these medical advancements like MRI scanners, heart pacemakers, those were invented by engineers. Wind turbines and solar panels, which are helping to reduce global warming. And even, you know, we wouldn't have sewers and we wouldn't have clean water if it hadn't been for sanitation engineers. So just try to imagine our lives without engineering. No cars, trains, planes, no internet, no phones. What we define as civilization, that is powered by engineers. This actually is the most difficult one to counteract. Engineering's for nerds. And I couldn't think of a suitable picture to put out, so I just thought, this is a picture of me doing my job. So I'm just trying to show that you have to be outgoing. Good managers can communicate. Good project managers have to have people skills. So we're not sad loners. And that's not helped by TV programs like The Big Bang and IT Crowd, because, you know, and everyone thinks of engineers like that, and just look around, we're not. Okay, myth number 9, engineering limits you to a technical career, and this is where I am going to talk about what I've done. I started off with a degree in electrical and electronic engineering, and I did work for 9 years as a development engineer. That picture at the top is actually me at the age of about 22, working on some very antiquated kit. But other aspects of my job, I've edited a technical magazine, I've been a marketing manager for 2 multinational companies, I've helped organise conferences. What I do now is that I help high-tech companies to tell the world what they're doing, and that's called PR, or more recently, content management. And I raised 2 great kids while I was doing that as well. So, okay, myth number 10, engineering's not for girls, which is why we're here. We have 9%, actually it says 8.5% there, of engineers are women in the UK. And that, if you look at the graph, you probably can't see, those are all the countries in Europe. It's pitiful, we're right at the bottom, okay? The average is 16%, we're right at the bottom, we've got a lot to do to get past that. Let's do something about it. Okay.